Saying as it is 6:30, we will call the meeting to order. Again, I would ask that when you are either called upon or you'd like to speak, make sure you press both buttons, and when you're done speaking, please turn your microphone off. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Ronnie Bush. Here. Samuel Newton. Here. Luann Hayes. Here. Todd McKenna. Here. William Hadley. Here. Dale Diddens. Here. Lynette Williams. Here. Adam Mottero.
Here.
Larry Jogers.
Here.
Brooke Deininger. Scott Holmes.
Present.
Jackie DeMeester. Here. Nicole Baker. Here. Steve Frick.
Present.
Brian Brandt.
Present.
Tim Whalen. 15 present, 1 absent.
Very good. Mr. Whalen, would you lead us in the prayer, and Mrs. Williams, the Pledge of Allegiance?
Let's pray. Lord God Almighty, thank you for this opportunity to once again serve the people of Stephenson County. Pray that you help us have wisdom tonight, that your presence would enumerate us with the ability to make good decisions, to communicate wisely, to listen intently, and to make much of this time that we have to serve others. So pray that you bless this time. Be with us. In Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I please get an approval of the agenda? By Mr. Bush, second by Mr. Jogers. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Is there any member that would like to have anything removed? Mr. Hadley, go ahead.
Yes, I would like C removed, please.
All right. Anyone else? Can I get a motion to approve A, B, and D? By Mr. Mottero. Is there a second? By Mrs. Hayes. Any discussion on A, B, or D? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Adam Mottero.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Holmes.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Aye. Nicole Baker. Aye. Steve Frick.
Aye.
Brian Brandt.
Aye.
Tim Whalen.
Yes, ma'am.
Ronnie Bush.
Yes.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Luann Hayes. Aye. Todd McKenna.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens.
Aye.
Lynette Williams. Aye. 15A, motion carries.
Can I get a motion to approve C, please? By Mr. Brandt, second by Mr. Jogers. Mr. Hadley, you have the floor.
Yeah, could we have the county engineer step up, please? Thank
Sure.
you.
Mr. Rasmussen, if you'd please come up.
Evening.
Good evening. This is on the guardrail replacement. The money that's being used, is this going to be our share of the money? The 100,000?
It's a 90% grant, so the grant was for $1 million. So ours is $111,111. Add that to the $1 million grant. It comes up to be.
Are we guaranteed the grant? Have we received it? Or?
Yes, we have. It's
Okay.
an HSIP grant that we received a couple years ago.
How many guardrails do we have in bad shape out in the county roughly? I mean,
We about $5 million worth of guardrail improvements.
really, 5 million,
Yeah.
so this is just gonna get only a quarter of what we need to have done.
The maximum HSIP will pay for guardrail improvements is $1 million per year. So this is our first grant that we received for the first $1 million. We've submitted twice and been turned down twice. So we're going to submit again in May and find out why it was turned down before.
Is these gonna be these new safety guardrails that they have out there now that they're replacing, you know, if a car runs into them or it kinda impacts the guardrail?
It'll be the most current standard, yes.
Okay, thank you, that's all I have, Chairman.
No problem.
Anything else for the engineer? Thank you, Dale.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Clerk, please take roll on C.
Brian Brandt. Aye. Tim Whalen.
Aye.
Ronnie Bush. Aye. Samuel Newton. Aye. Luann Hayes. Aye. Todd McKenna. Aye. William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens. Yes. Lynette Williams. Aye. Adam Mottero.
Aye.
Larry Jokers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker. Steve Frick. 15 A, 0 nay, motion carries.
Thank you. Public comment. Is there anyone that would like to come up and speak? If so, please come to the podium, state your name, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening.
My name's Ed Klein. Most of you know me. I live over just outside on Lily Creek Road. I noticed that there are 2 items that possible action out of executive session. One is the first employment agreement with the nursing home administrator, and I've got my fingers crossed that that all goes well. It would be wonderful to have a full-time, permanent administrator here for our nursing home. The other thing is the possibility of an approval of an agreement with TCM. I have no idea what that agreement might be, but I'm cautiously optimistic that the board might find a way to stay with TCM to do our billing and any management help that we need. I would like to read from the RFP that went out actually in May of 22 when they got hired. Over the past several years, the county has experienced financial and management challenges associated with the operation of the nursing home. The county lacks the financial and management capacity to continue operating the home in its current model and is seeking qualified operators of long-term care facilities to submit proposals to manage the home. That has turned out to be really successful. The home is in a tremendously better position today than it was in 22. And obviously when we came out of, it was horrible coming out of COVID. We've gone through a lot of struggles, but I really think that the success to this point has been because we've had a management team. I am just hoping that we can come up with an agreement that would be maybe for a year, where would be renewed or reviewed in like 9 months to see if what needs are met. But I really hate at this point to change the billing system and then lose all the other help that TCM gives our nursing home at this time. So thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move into executive session. The first is 5 ILCS 120/2C, employment matters. The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. The second will be 5 ILCS 120/2C11, litigation, when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of a particular body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for these 2 items? By Mr. Diddens, is there a second? By Mrs. Hayes. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Dale Diddens. Aye. Lynette Williams. Aye. Adam Mottero.
Aye.
Larry Jokers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker. Steve Frick. Brian Brandt. Tim Whalen. Ronnie Bush. Samuel Newton. Luann Hayes. Todd McKenna. William Hadley. 15 A, 0 nay, motion carries.
Very good. If individuals in the gallery would please clear the room, we'll call you when we are back into session. thank you, everyone. We came out of executive session, no action was taken. We'll move on to the next action items. First up is approval of employment agreement for nursing home administrator. Do I have a motion to approve by Mrs. Baker?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Bush. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Perez, and welcome to the team. Glad to have you. Next, we have approval of agreement with TCM, Transitional Care Management. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Baker, is there a second?
I will second that.
By Mr. Whalen, is there any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll on this.
Nicole Baker. Aye. Steve Frick.
Yes.
Brian Brandt.
Aye.
Tim Whalen.
Yes.
Ronnie Bush.
Aye.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Todd McKenna.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens.
Yes.
Lynette Williams.
Aye.
Adam Modero.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. 15 A, 0 nay, motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Greater Freeport Partnership Quarterly Presentation presented by Andrea Schultz-Winter. And Nicole Hess.
And Nicole Hess, yes. Thank you. All right. Am I advancing? Okay. All right. Sure. All right. Good evening. Happy New Year, everyone. Tonight's presentation will cover the highlights of our work in key focus areas. The information is outlined in more detail in the fourth quarter report that you've received in your packets. And just as a reminder, we've broken our work down into our strategic plan key focus areas of business retention and expansion, which includes workforce development efforts, new business development and attraction, marketing the region to prospective businesses and employees to show how opportunities for growth and work in Stephenson County. It is also how we market the partnership's services to existing and future businesses. Visitor attraction, which encompasses our tourism attraction efforts, advocacy and policy, which is related to our internal work we're doing tracking legislation that might affect our local industries, communities, and businesses. We are also looking to build GFP's capacity by increasing membership numbers and maintaining a high retention rate. Outlined in our strategic plan was here is kind of just an overview of some fourth quarter wins, some high-level things that happened that were positive in the fourth quarter that were evident of our efforts. Outlined in our strategic plan was the completion of a county-wide business survey. The survey was completed last quarter. 84% of the businesses that responded reported that their company is either stable or expanding. There was more details on that survey in the fourth quarter report. An existing ag manufacturer publicly announced a partnership to revolutionize ethanol production by capturing and converting CO2. This project's been in the work for over 2 years, and the enterprise zone benefits are being utilized in this project. An existing manufacturer is adding jobs because they invested in additional machinery that supports a new service they had previously outsourced. Attracted a new manufacturer to Freeport to fill an existing space. They will co-locate currently with a current manufacturer. I just met with this business earlier today. It's RVL Metals. That is public information. We're getting more details of job creation and future build out. They will be looking to expand. So it's very exciting news, and there'll be more forthcoming. The former Visitor Center building was sold and will open as a new business later this spring. And the partnership, its projects, and volunteers were honored by Illinois Main Street and received 5 awards at the state's conference. The 5 awards were for volunteer recognition of Tim Connors and the Pretzel Pickers, promotional approach for our Rediscover Your Downtown campaign, Economic Vitality Award for our business startup program Base Camp, organizational approach, which is focusing on the partnership was recognized for its merged and collaborative approach to economic development. In relationship to business retention and expansion, our key activities were in the last quarter. We had business retention visits with 18 businesses and area employers. Some high-level things that we took away, we heard from the employers were attracting workforce is still a priority issue. However, the upcoming change in federal administration has led to a wait-and-see attitude. Possible future regulations such as tariffs have created some uncertainty in the market. To address some of these concerns, we're looking at what resources are offered locally or regionally. And the partnership is hosting a seminar on the foreign trade zone and how that could be a resource to businesses who import goods. That seminar will happen February 13th at 7:30 in the morning, and we're pushing that communication out to area businesses. In the ag sector, commodity prices are down, which has led to a ripple effect for some of our manufacturers. We connected those businesses with the Illinois Workshare program, which is an alternative to layoffs. Additionally, we worked with 11 entrepreneurs and assisted them in developing their businesses. And we connected Stephenson County businesses with an opportunity to learn how they could work globally and expand their business at the Representative Cabello's International Business Forum. In relationship to workforce development efforts, the highlight of the fourth quarter was really connecting students with employers and building that workforce pipeline. The partnership participated, promoted, and helped organize the 3 events you see on the screen: Manufacturing Day, Freeport High School and Highland Community College Job and Career Fair, and Highland Community College Northwest Illinois Ag Expo. These 3 events target area students so that they can understand future career opportunities, secure internships and jobs, and I think maybe most importantly is build an understanding that their community wants them to stay here and sees their talents as use and of value here within this community. Last quarter, we reported our efforts led to the connection between the YIELD program and Goodwill Industries. This connection led to future funding, which has expanded the YIELD program training to include education on alternative energy sector and basic electrical construction. Goodwill Industries is a recipient of the CEJA grant, and so they're using some of those funding dollars to help fund the YIELD program. In new business attraction and development, we had 14 new leads come into the office in the last quarter. 8 of these originated from a statewide organization, Intersect Illinois. We were able to respond to 5 leads because we had a site or an existing building that met the company's requirements. 3 leads we could not respond to because we lacked a site that was large enough, or the company was a very heavy water user that would be too taxing on Freeport's current system. 6 leads originated from local businesses and or government agencies, and of those 3, it was split evenly between 3 existing businesses that were looking to locate or expand, and 3 new businesses. I will now turn the presentation over to Nicole. She'll talk about marketing the region.
Good evening. Thank you so much for letting us explain some of the highlights that you have seen, not only in your report, but hopefully in the weekly communication that comes out of our office. We're always trying to provide you good things to talk about with your constituents and continue to pass around. Another one of those that Andrea is passing out, if you didn't grab one from, I think it was Planning and Development, but we had a new idea this year. We're constantly kind of combating the idea that there's nothing to do here, or people don't know what's going on until the event has passed. To do that, we have created a 12-month printed calendar, and we were able to pay for the printing of 800 calendars thanks to the help of advertisers who were actually given the opportunity to put their event on the specific date for 2025. We are hoping, and I'm a couple short, I will make sure, Sam and Dale, that we get you those calendars in the future. This has really been a huge hit. They have been flying off the shelves in trying to really tell people about the great things that are happening. Oh, and Ronnie says he has one as well, so he can pass his up. So we anticipate with the positive feedback we've received from this project to make this even bigger with more advertising, more events, and more to be distributed in 2026. Also, marketing to the region also means to continue to explain and explore the idea of shopping local during the holiday season. That was very important. We were hearing from some of our retail businesses that 2024 was not a stellar year for them. So having a strong holiday season to end the year was really important. And part of that, at least in downtown Freeport, was Mistletoe Walk, which was held on November 23rd. And of the participating businesses, we did send out a survey after that event, and over 70% reported that they had more foot traffic and more sales than the day-and-a-half-long event that we provided in 2023. And that is also something to note. Weather is always a factor, and the weather in this year was not good compared to previous years, and we still had great foot traffic. So one of the things that we added that you'll see in that photo is a free s'mores bar that we placed in the vacant lot next to Jet Beauty, and people were able to come and take photos in a holiday frame and use the little burners to create their own s'more in that area, along with the tree lighting right here at the courthouse. The other marketing campaigns around holiday shopping included billboards, print ads, radio, as well as digital media. Visitor attraction, we hosted our annual tourism partner meeting on November 14th at Lena Brewing Company. That's our opportunity to talk to organization leaders, attraction leaders about what we are doing to promote, and also hear from them about what else we need to be aware of from within their organization, things they see coming up or pain points. And what we hear a lot is funding issues. So we've sent multiple opportunities for grant funding from the state of Illinois as well as local sources that they are able to take advantage of. The state grants were due December 5th. We did help one organization submit for 2 different grants. Those have not been announced yet. Knowing the state of Illinois, it'll probably be a couple of months, but provided letters of support and data and statistics to help strengthen that application. The Choose Your Adventure campaign wrapped up in October. Our engagement, we track that based on tourism industry averages, and we nearly doubled what is normal for a tourism campaign. So meaning the pictures, the videos that we're sharing are getting twice as much attention as another entity the same size as Stephenson County. Then we had Pretzel City Brew Fest. That is our main event of the year that is specifically to draw tourists to the region. And over 50% of our ticket purchases were from over 30 miles away. And we are confident in that data because all of those tickets are purchased online or with a credit card, except for a less than 5% day of sales. And those zip codes were tracked for where those attendees came from. Since Bill is not here, we are wrapping up tonight's business after hours at Winneshuck Playhouse right now, so that's why he's not here, but I will indulge in his numbers. Our membership continues to be right around 400 members. That does include our courtesy and our nonprofit members. We had 10 new members join the partnership in the fourth quarter, and our retention rate actually continues to increase. It was 96.7% for the fourth quarter, but 97.5% for the year. Thank you so much.
Any questions? Mrs. Hayes?
Hello. There we go. That's better. I just have a couple questions. Thanks for the updates. I'm looking at occupancy rates. Okay. Your fourth quarter, you were down significantly in October and November compared to last year and the year before. Overall, according to your report, you were only down by 0.5%, which is great. My ask is going to be again this time, what are your plans to increase that? I mean, it shouldn't be, ooh, we made last year's number. It should be, we expect to exceed last year by 10%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is your plan to make sure that in the first quarter of this year, we're going to exceed those numbers?
So I would love to be able to say, this is what we're doing and get that here. But we all know that people's plans don't necessarily come within the next 2 months. So what we're planning on now is hopefully going to affect us in second and third quarter, because everything has to be planned further ahead. In just the same as in government. We're reaching out to more group tours because that helps us day of. We have to get them to stay here overnight, because a lot of times they're just passing through on the bus to go to the next destination. So working with hotels when I visit these group tours to say, what rate can we offer to make this better than stopping in Rockford or stopping in Bloomington or Peoria, wherever their next stop is, and doing that based on hotel rate, as well as we're working with some other conferences. We just hosted a tumbling tournament for the first time last weekend at Freeport High School, and I'm in contact with some other conferences to try to get them to locate here in Freeport. One of our goals in our strategic plan, if you'll remember from last February, was also looking at trying to get a new hotel here that would have conference space, which would open us up to a host of other opportunities. Yes, that would decrease because we're increasing capacity, but overflow from conferences, as you know, fills into other hotels.
Right.
So that is some of our plan that way, but unfortunately, it's not going to be overnight.
Have you targeted in the past any of the Smurf market? Not the little blue people.
Right.
Social, military, education, religious, fraternal.
All of the yes and no. So we have reached out to our local National Guard group to see what they're doing when they're in town. Before it's been medical, so yes, some of the traveling nurses. Why you will see occupancy, so when we're tracking occupancy, that's from our 3 major hotels. When we're saying occupancy overall hasn't decreased, that's because we don't have the capacity on a quarterly basis to track vacation rentals. And a lot of those longer term people who are staying here, we do have a dozen-ish, because they go in and out of service based on the homeowner, can stay at vacation rental properties.
I understand that, but I mean, apples over apples here, right? I mean, we've had Airbnbs in the area for 2 years, so we can't really say that, well, it's because they're, I mean, I'm trying to get just a better view of this. So in 3 months, I'm going to come back, I'm going to say, what's your plan?
Yeah.
What's your plan? We need 10% more than what we had last year to keep growing.
And I know this is something you're passionate about. Obviously, I'm passionate about. So if it's something we can meet with here in the next 2 weeks to hear some more ideas, I'd love to do that.
Okay.
Anything else, Mrs. Hayes?
No, that's it.
Mrs. Williams?
I was interested in knowing, you said something about work share, about that avoided layoffs at a company. How does that happen?
I'm going to give you a very brief overview because I am not familiar with into the weeds of the program, to be honest with you. It's a program that's offered by Illinois Department of Employment Security. They came and gave a presentation, and it talks about they're able to offer, by some of the unemployment insurance that the company pays into, they're able to offer basically a percentage of the employee's wage for a period of time. Now, the employer has to develop a plan as to how there's what staff and how they're going to be affected in the duration of the layoff. But it can be as short as 2 weeks. It could be up to a year. But it's the idea that if you're completely laying that employee off and there is no tie, there is no compensation, that employee is probably going to go and find another job, as we all do. And so when that employer then needs that talent back because they've increased volume or, things have changed, then they're going to have to go seek that talent again. So it keeps the people on the payroll. That's the goal. And then the employer doesn't have to lose talent and then try to find talent in the future.
So it's money that comes from the state through a program of it's part of the unemployment program?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Or unemployment funds?
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Frick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to defend you a little bit as we talk about occupancy. I think we've forgotten the fact that last year and the year before, we had a huge pipeline being built through our community. And those people, if you went by the fairgrounds, you saw 50 or 60 campers parked there that were people working the pipeline, and those people were in our hotels. And we don't have that right now. And so you can't blame that on not having the right people in place. That was a thing that doesn't happen all the time, but that's why those hotels and those beds were fuller than they are now. And I don't like to blame you for that, because, you know, we could have that all the time if there was a way to do it, but that's the way that happened. Thank you.
Anyone, Mr. Brandt, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a quick question about the, you mentioned new business unable to locate here because of lack of sufficient water capacity. How short of capacity?
We're talking, I'd have to look back at the specific RFI, to be honest with you. I don't know the exact number, but we're talking like millions of gallons per day. So a very high, and you know, the city of Freeport does have ample capacity, but when you're looking at taking on a user like that, that's going to tax their system.
Does this happen often?
No.
Okay.
That's not usually the reason that we can't respond.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hayes.
I would like to respond to Mr. Frick's comment. I'm not accusing or blaming anyone for this. I just feel that since the occupancy tax that we receive back from the state is how you're funded, I want to make sure that you guys are successful and that you can continue to grow. And by increasing that occupancy, by planning ahead, a year ahead, to try to get some of these little groups and so forth in, you know, I've been asking this question every quarter for a year. So it's not something I'm just coming up with now. We have to plan for these things because I want more money from the state. I want you to get the maximum that you can get. And by planning a year in advance with some of these other groups and so forth, this is the way that we're going to get it. Because being stagnant with occupancy or even dropping is just not acceptable when you're talking about that's your funding source.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ladies, all I would just add is for future reference for business after hours and your annual dinner, if you could maybe
not have it at the same night?
that would be great. We would all love to attend and support your organization, but we don't want to compete.
Exactly, and I think unfortunately the dates are planned for 2025, but we're looking for 2026. We'll move it to the fourth Thursday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to appointments. There are three. We have the approval of the appointment of Todd McKenna to the 708 Board, approval of the appointment of Dale Diddens to the Jane Addams Trail Commission, and approval of the appointment of Brett Anderson to the Lena Fire District. How would the board like to handle these three appointments?
Three.
Like to make a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to approve all three at once.
All right, is there a second? Second by Mr. Brandt. Is there any discussion on these? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All three pass. Thank you very much. We will now move on to action items and information from standing committees. First up is Finance. Mr. Whalen, you have 5 action items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first one is the approval of vehicles for the Sheriff's Department. This was budgeted last year, so this is mainly just a formality to pass paying the invoice. So we have an invoice in front of us for $200,540.80, and I would move to approve payment on that.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Diddens. Any discussion on this? Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Tim Whalen,
Yes.
Ronnie Bush. Samuel Newton. Luann Hayes. Todd McKenna. William Hadley. Dale Diddens. Lynette Williams.
Aye.
Adam Monteiro.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker. Steve Frick. Brian Brandt. 14A, 1 nay, motion carries.
Your next action item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have approval of increasing the employee health life insurance from $10,000 to $15,000, and I'm going to let our county administrator comment on that, if she would be so kind.
Yes, this is something that has come up over the last couple of years, something that could be offered in discussions with employee retention, satisfaction. It is something that has been asked for through contract negotiations as well. The increased costs of everything kind of includes funeral costs, and the average cost of a funeral has gone up. So this is something that we're recommending as, fairly inexpensive to the county, but could go a long way for an employee in an unfortunate event that they would have to use it.
So as such, it's a good benefit to the employees at a fairly low cost. So I would move to approve that as stated.
All right, motion by Mr. Whalen, second by Mr. Jogerst. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
I hit the wrong button.
Mrs. Hayes, go ahead.
Okay. Quick question. Do we have this in the budget?
It is not a budgeted expense. The payment is for the insurance, but not the increase. It's how much?
Less than $150 a month. $150
Total.
a month total for all employees within the county.
So we have that money to cover.
We can absorb that into that.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you.
Anything else, Mrs. Hayes? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Whalen, your next item, please.
Yeah, we have a sale of 2 surplus properties in the amount of $1,670 plus the recorder fee of $170. So I would move to approve those as presented.
All right, is there a second? Second by Mr. Brandt. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next item is the resolution authorizing the property tax advance payment of nursing facility real estate tax levy. This is simply moving funds, as you can, hopefully everybody had a chance to look at the resolution, moving up to $425,000 in tax anticipation forward from its normal scheduled payment after we receive it in July up to take care of some outstanding billing. So I would so move as presented.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Diddens. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll on this.
Tim Whalen,
Yes.
Ronnie Bush. Samuel Newton. Luann Hayes. Todd McKenna. William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens. Lynette Williams.
Aye.
Adam Monero.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker. Steve Frick.
Yes.
Brian Brandt.
Aye.
15 A, 0 nay, motion carries.
Very good. Your final item, Mr. Whalen?
Final item, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee reviewed 4 RFP proposals at Finance and selected 2 to move forward to this board for consideration. And at this time, I would like to ask Malaysia Hayward to come up and discuss her proposal for the board for billing collection and financial management services with the local group, Hayward Financial Group.
Hello, everybody. My name is Malaysia Hayward, and hopefully you guys have had a time to look over my proposal, so I'm really just here to answer any questions that you might have.
Are there any questions? Mr. Whalen?
Ms. Hayward, one of the concerns I think that we had at Finance was your experience overall in doing this type of billing. Can you address that for the board?
Yeah, so currently my company has been running for 4 years, so we do have 4 years of experience working with long-term healthcare and healthcare facilities. I know that the RFP requires 5 years, I believe, is what it's asking for, but we do feel strongly that us being local is it's a lot different from working with the other company. Unlike the larger companies, we are right here. We are transparent. We can be held accountable, or we can ask that other companies' representatives to step up. And also, in my experience, I've learned that it's not always about the experience, it's about the quality of the experience. Mm-hmm. And I feel strongly that Hayward Financial Group can provide that for Stephenson County Nursing Home.
Anything else, Mr. Whalen? Okay, Mrs. Hayes?
Hi, thanks for coming in. So do you work with any other long-term care facilities in the Freeport area?
Not in the Freeport area.
Not, but you're based here, though?
I am.
Okay. And how many other long-term care facilities do you work with?
Currently 2.
2.
Yes.
Are they both within the state of Illinois?
1 is.
1. Okay. All right. And you've been doing this for about a year?
My business has been open for 4 years. I've been doing accountancy for almost 7 to 10 years.
Okay, so it said since 2023.
Yeah, well, we changed from an LLC to a corporation in 2023, so we
Okay.
had to put 2023.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. Hadley?
Yes, just to follow up on some things Ms. Hayes asked. So you're doing 2 nursing homes at this time, one in
Yes.
the state of Illinois and one in
Wisconsin.
Where?
Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin. How come you didn't put them down as references so we could follow up and find? And let me ask you, how long have you been working for these care facilities, like the one in Illinois?
That's a great question. So one I have been working with for 6 months and the other one for 4. So because of the duration, I didn't feel comfortable putting that down.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, that's it.
Mr. Diddens?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hi, I was at the Finance Committee when you made your presentation, but I don't remember. Are you familiar with the matrix system that we're currently using at the?
I am.
Okay, all right, that's my only question. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Newton?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. So my question is, what challenges do you think you might anticipate dealing with, since you've been dealing with the healthcare facilities for a while, in billing? What are some of the most challenging situations you've had to deal with thus far?
Honestly, it's more of going into these nursing homes and having to rehabilitate their systems. A lot of them are working with systems that are older, so we need to go in and give them systems that can streamline and customize it. So I think that's the biggest thing with the state of Illinois. Last time I checked, our clean claim rate was about 90%. So errors are not much of a problem for us. So I think the biggest thing is having to go in and revitalize systems and bring in that back office, because it's one thing to do billing and collections, but a lot of these times they're missing that financial management and that consulting and that budgeting that the billing and collections by itself just won't offer. It won't offer you all the information you need to know to be able to make sure that your nursing home is running at full capacity. At full operational capacity.
All right, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Newton?
I think that's it at this time.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Yes, I got a follow-up
Mr. Hadley, go
question.
ahead.
How many residents at the one in Illinois that you're dealing with billing?
It's a small one. Last time I believe 65.
65? How about in Wisconsin?
That one is, off the top of my head, it's only been with them for 4 months. Off my head, I would think 20 to 30.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Whalen?
Thank you, Ms. Hayward. All right, the other proposal that moved forward was a company called Matrix Care, which is affiliated with the Matrix software system that we are currently using at the facility. And I believe Lori is here. If you'd like to come up and give us an overview of what your proposal is and what you bring to the table. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Lori Noysa. I am with Matrix Care. I am the account manager that works with Stephenson Nursing Center to oversee the electronic healthcare record. Along with me tonight is Christy Brown. She is with our partner, Quality Healthcare, that provides the revenue revenue cycle billing. I believe we are here primarily for questions. We presented the RFP earlier in the week. So please, I open it up to questions.
Any questions?
I guess I will start. One of the things that when I look at the proposals we've received, that gives me at least some comfort level is that you are already, as you stated, responsible for part of our system, the clinical side of it. how confident are you when you look at the state of what have you seen anything as far as how we do billing at the facility so far? Are you aware that our AR and AP situation is not the best? Can you speak to how well you feel you can come into a situation like that and recapture, kind of turn the boat back up in the right direction? I don't know how best to quantify that for you as a question.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, so being that we are your electronic healthcare record provider, we do have that insight into the billing, that back office piece on collections, et cetera. So we were able to pull the data from your system on what you are actually billing on and collecting on and do an AR assessment on that. And if I can lean on my partner, Christy, her expertise is in that area. So you want to speak to what we're found in that?
Right, so in your packet, you should have had the AR, in your packet, you should have had the AR assessment that we did for your facility. Again, that's all information that came straight out of your Matrix Care system. So it's the actual claims that were billed, it's the actual collections against those. And then we looked at the AR that was over 90 days, because typically your AR should not be aging out much over 90 days unless you have specific issues with claims. So when we looked at that, you did have a higher net collection rate about a year and a half ago. And then if you looked at that assessment, you'll see that your net collection rate, which means the volume of what you're billing versus collecting, has been declining. And so that was one of the things that we looked at. Now, I can't tell you exactly why that's declining because I'm not in the building and I don't know anything about what's really happening with the numbers. I'm only looking at data. We looked at the AR over 90 and we noticed that there was quite a bit out of aging over 90, and some of that was in your coinsurance and your managed care plans, which are typically really hard to collect on. You have to stay on top of those. So that's where we pulled that information, and those are the statistics that we saw. So any questions about any of that I can answer for you?
No, hopefully everybody had a chance to look at that in the report.
Christy, I have a quick question. In regards to that aging AR, how optimistic are you in collecting that if you're selected?
So I'm going to be completely honest with you. There are timely filing guidelines that all agencies have. So when we look at your aging, so we've talked about doing an AR cleanup for you. Things that are not aged out over a year should be collectible unless an authorization wasn't gotten or some piece of information was missing that the facility should have had. Things that are in your 365 days, those are the things that I can't give you good answers for. Medicare has a timely filing of 1 year. A lot of your managed care plans have 30, 60, and 90-day timely filing. So without getting in there and looking at it, I can't tell you how much of over 365 is, but if you look at an aging and you look at that bucket, that's the bucket that needs to be focused on to see if there's some type of collections. I will be completely honest with you. Sometimes we hit it and it's something that we can work with an insurance company and we can get 20, 30% of that paid for that's over 365. And then sometimes we come into facilities and, as was mentioned before, you have a back office issue where authorizations weren't gotten and there's nothing that we can do. So anything that is not 365, you have a great chance of collecting. Things that are over 365 really has to be investigated before I could give you an answer. But once we get in there and we start investigating and looking at it, we can project what we think might or might not be collectible.
And just for this board's reference, that amount over 365 is northward of $250,000 right now, just so you know. Yeah.
Any other questions? Mr. Hadley?
Yes, I have a few questions. So your net billing is 4.65%? Yes, percent. Is that flexible, or is that your standard for everybody?
That is, I'm going to let Lori talk about that.
That is our standard, but we can look at lowering that should it be necessary.
And then the monthly minimum is $17,368 then, on this contract here then?
Yes, based on the 4.65%. That monthly minimum would go down if the percentage is negotiated.
Okay, and how many local nursing homes are you in this region?
We have 30 currently.
30?
We have 30 nursing homes in the state of Illinois, not just in your area, but in the state. I have to go get the map to tell you.
Any of them county nursing homes?
I don't think they're county. We do work with county homes, and I can get you references for those if you would like, but we do work with county homes, but I have to go back and look at the list. We have Sheridan, and we have ECC. Those are a couple companies that have homes here in the Illinois area that we work with.
Do you hire out a third-party billing company?
No. All of the, we are partners with Matrix Care. And so all of our billers are employed by us. We don't use anybody, we don't use any overseas employees. And most of our employees have at least 10 years of experience in billing, and it's all in skilled nursing facility billing.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Baker.
Can you speak upon how your collection processes are and how you handle them from like the time you collect them and then all the way through to the end?
Sure. So the first step is we're going to pull your aging, and then we load that aging into our program that then tells us how many claims there are that need to be looked at and how many accounts. So then we assign an AR collection specialist to that. And then that AR collection specialist, our first attempt is looking at things that are going to be almost out of timely filing. So we need to look at those claims ASAP. And so we look at those accounts. We do the research that's going to be in Matrix Care. We would also use resources from your previous billing company if they had any. But we're going to investigate and find out why did that claim not pay. Okay. Then once it's not paid, if it can be rebilled, we're going to rebill it. If there was a coding error or something on it, if it needs to be appealed, then we're going to go and we're going to pull the records and we're going to go to the insurance company or whoever it might be and appeal it. Once we get a final decision, then we will assign it a status, and that status could be maybe we find out and we've done the research and found out that it's just a contractual adjustment and it was never should have been reported as revenue. Or we find out that we've exhausted all collection attempts and it would be a potential write-off, and then we would status that account as that, and then we present that back to the facility.
Okay, I have one more question. Can you talk about your triple check and if you have a triple check process in place, and are you double check, triple check, or anything like that?
So we have a triple check process. We typically will get with the facility and find out what their triple check process is, and then we become part of that. So we're gathering the data, we're getting the claims together. So we have the draft claims. We take the draft claims back to the facility. We work through it with their triple check. So we're looking at the claims. Is the hospital qualifying state aid right? Is the authorization there? Is the PDPM rate correct? Is the correct ICD-10 codes on the claim? So we're doing that with your IDT team in the facility. And then before we bill the claims, we have the facility sign an attestation statement that yes, we've gone over these and the data is correct based on the medical record in the facility.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you, ladies. Mr. Whalen.
Thank you very much. I would just like to give our new administrator an opportunity, if he'd like, to address the board on between these two proposals, if he has any comments for us that we should consider.
Would you like to come up?
If you'd like.
Sure. Thank you.
So I've had conversations and have seen the presentations as far as the RFPs that were received and looked at the qualifications of all that was received. Just spoke at length also with members representing the RFPs that were received. I've been able to speak with members of the county board as to what I feel would be required as to the services to be provided for our facility to make sure that we're providing or be able to function on a day-to-day basis, not only in terms of day-to-day billing and collections, but in terms of potential, as was discussed already, as far as bad debt, as far as collections, at different lengths of time. At this point, I feel that at least between the RFPs that we've received, that we would be able to have what we need at this point based on what's been presented at this point. I've spoken, as I said, with members of the county board, the county administrator, my chairman, which I report to, the county board chairman. I believe all the questions that have been posed have been answered. In this case, ultimately by Matrix Care, who's given their presentation, obviously, as well. Also looking at the other RFPs as a whole. So I think what we have ultimately what we need in terms of what's been presented at this point. And I think I've communicated my what I feel would be best in terms of what direction to go with in terms of those members of the county board that I've spoken with at this point.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any questions for Administrator Perez? Okay, thank you, Marcos.
All right, I wanted to say thank you to both parties for coming tonight to present your information and answer questions. And I want to say personally, I was very impressed with Ms. Hayward, what you put together. But I'm a little nervous when it comes to the experience and the need that we have right here to jump into the fray. And being already tied to the Matrix system, I'm certainly a little bit more supportive of what I'm seeing from the Matrix Care side. So I guess I would entertain a motion from the chair of the Nursing Center Committee on what you would like to see here.
I would like to make a motion to approve Matrix Care.
And would you turn your microphone on and repeat that, please?
I would like to make a motion to approve Matrix Care, and if I get a second, I will add.
I will second that motion.
All right, so if you can see that they have a Matrix Care RA or AR cleanup report order in your packet, bracket 1, 2, 3, there is some lines there that were blank, and the information will read, age brackets less than 365 days charged 15% net collection is 1/30 of 23. Age bracket greater than 365 days charged 30% net collection is 2/1/2023. And then AR cleanup includes the unbilled claims form prior months prior to January 2025.
Okay, any further discussion? Mr. Hadley, go ahead.
Yes, earlier they said they would be flexible on the percentage. So would they be flexible to take it down to 3.65 for 1 year and then renegotiate after a year?
Ladies, would you like to step up again? So, Mr. Hadley, currently in the contract, there is also a minimum monthly payment.
Yeah, yep, that would have to come down too then.
Okay. And again, just if you could speak directly to the microphone, please. If you need to move it, that's fine.
Yeah, so if we do lower the percentage rates, that would obviously reduce that monthly minimum.
I'm taking it down 1% for 1 year and then renegotiate. Let's see how you guys do, you know.
Would you consider 4%?
You know, we're paying a company right now 5%, you know, and I would feel more comfortable if it was, I would support it at 3.65 for 1 year. We got to cut costs.
Would we have a minute to confer with our manager?
Yes, please do. Yes, yes. I mean, could we come back to this too, if they want to call their manager and move on, or?
I defer to Mr. Chairman on that.
That's fine, we can do so. Would both of you ladies be stepping out, or can one of you stay and answer some other questions? All right. Do you mind taking a few other questions while she's doing that? If you want to move that microphone down closer to you, if you wouldn't mind.
Can you hear me now better?
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Hadley, did you have any other questions?
Well, the reason why too is we have a local company that I'm very unimpressed with too, you know, and I know they don't have the track records that we want. And there is a $7,500 a month, and then a one-time deal for $12,000, and then $100 an hour adding for consulting support. So I'm just trying to help our nursing home out and try to get this lowered, and then I can fully support this then.
I completely understand. I was a nursing home owner-operator, and I was talking earlier today that I had to bill and collect, or I couldn't make payroll because I had a nursing home in rural Texas, and if I didn't get my money, I couldn't pay payroll. So it was extremely important to me to ensure that claims went out clean, and I've done this most of my life. 40 years now, and started out as a business office manager, so fully understand the importance of making sure that the facility gets every penny they get, they deserve for the care that they're giving the residents. So yeah, it's just a matter of us getting our approval from our management team. So.
Okay, Mr. Bush.
Yeah, just like the most of you, I was real impressed with Ms. Hayward. I think either way we go, we're going to take a chance with whoever. But I was really was hoping that we'd be able to go with Ms. Hayward because she's local, young entrepreneur. To at least give her the opportunity to be able to do what we want her to do, at least looking for her to do. Because listen to both sides, seem like both pretty much had the same idea, the same thought, same project. It's just the fact that, plus also too, Matrix is a much larger company. But I just think that we should have went. My feeling, we should have went with Ms. Hayward.
Okay, Mr. Newton.
I was only going to ask. I've only heard the contractual amount for the other one, and that was through Mr. Hadley. How much was the contractual amount that was given for Matrix for this bid?
There was a minimum payment amount, $17,800, I believe, a month.
Okay.
$17,368, Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley.
Thank you.
And then on the AR cleanup, if we don't collect it, you don't pay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Whalen.
Yeah, I was just going to add, they were the only ones to offer the service to go after the outstanding AR as well in the RFP.
Okay. Mrs. Williams.
I think that even though we are obviously in a position of wanting to save the county money, I am not sure that that is the responsibility of cutting their fee, Matrix's fee, to do that. I mean, that's my opinion.
Okay. Mr. Brandt.
Thank you. And thank you for making the trip to attend tonight's meeting. I've been very impressed with Matrix Care. I started out today with some reservations, and through some phone calls, was able to get most of those concerns eliminated. One thing I want to make sure that everyone understands is on the billing, it's 4.65%. Or the $17,300 monthly. So the job we're hiring you to do is billing and accounts receivable. So if I go through an example, say you bill $400,000 month 1, you bill $400,000 month 2, you bill $400,000 month 3. You've billed $1.2 million. If you only collect $1.1 million out of that, we've paid 4.65 on the 100,000 that you didn't collect. Just want to make sure everybody understands that. The other thing is, although you are responsible for the accounts receivable. There's no penalty, so to speak, if you don't collect it. Fair statement?
That is a fair statement.
Okay.
But we do take every, I don't want to say precaution, but we do a lot of the work ahead of time. So I was explaining earlier today, we have what we call a tracking position. So if you don't send a clean claim in, or you don't have the right pieces of information, it doesn't matter who submits that claim, it's not going to pay. So we have what we call a tracker position who is working with the facility on a weekly basis to ensure that if you have a managed care that needs authorization every 14 days, yes, we may not be able to get it for you, but we're going to be on top of whoever's in the building that needs to get that. So so making sure that's happening, making sure eligibilities, making sure payers are checked when the person comes in so that you don't see some of the things that we often see in an AR cleanup to where you didn't have the right authorization or you didn't have the right ICD-10 claim on a claim that was actually authorized by the case manager. So we're trying to put those precautions in place ahead of time. And one of the reasons why there's not a built-in penalty is because we have done our due diligence, we've billed it, and we've done every step to collect it. So we've, if the facility has the wrong information, didn't have the authorization code, or they told it to us wrong, we're going back and we're trying to fix it. So it's not just a matter of we're gonna bill that claim and then it's done. We're actually doing that collection work on it and trying to get it, like I said, exhaust every possible avenue we have to get it paid. So it's not, that's why there's not the penalty, because we're billing it and we're doing that full collection on it.
I understand. Can you tell the board what your net collection rate is? I know what the number, but I'm going to let you tell it.
So our average net collection rate is 98% as a company. And again, I'm going to say something. As a nursing home owner, I was not always in favor of outsourced billing. And that was because we never saw the teamwork or the collaboration. And I would not put myself behind this company if I didn't truly believe in it. And I've seen those results. We've got companies we can show you those results, but I will tell you it takes a team effort. It takes your facility and us together to make it work. I can't get you to or my team can't get you to a 98% collection rate if we don't have good admission processes, if we aren't checking eligibilities, if we're not doing the right steps. I can't get you to 98%. That's why we have to work as a team and we have to hold each other accountable. So if my team's not doing what they need to do, I need to know it. If your team's not doing what they need to do, we need to be able to have open communication and we need to come back to you and say something's not working in your admission process. And that's how you achieve those 98% collection rates.
Thank you for those details. I will be voting for the approval of Matrix Care. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me take that call. Tim had planned to be here, but he's mowing. So we do have approval to do that one-year term at 3.65.
And the minimum would come down then, the monthly minimum?
Yep.
Down to about what?
Roughly around 13,500. Forgive my quick math, but.
So we got a motion already to approve this?
Correct. You would have to make a motion to amend.
I make a motion, I'm sorry. Are you ready, Chairman?
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we change the percentage from the billing net from 4.65 to 3.65. And the monthly minimum would be 17.5, I mean, not 13.5?
Around that, I apologize. I don't have the exact number on the top of my head.
But it'd be roughly,
yes,
give or take,
for 1 year.
Correct.
13.5.
All right. Is there a second to the motion to amend?
I would second that
By
motion,
Mr.
Mr.
Whalen.
Chairman.
Is there discussion on the amendment only? Seeing, oh, go ahead. I'm going to clear the queue, but I will come back to Mr. Whalen. You can press your buttons again. So this is on the amendment only.
I would just like to thank the ladies for, being cooperative and calling the boss and getting it all taken care of. We really appreciate it. We are We have limited funds, so we really do appreciate it. Looking forward to working with you if it passes. Thank you.
Any other discussion or questions on the amendment only? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll on the amendment only. Please turn your microphones on.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens.
Aye.
Lynette Williams.
Aye.
Adam Mottero.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker.
Aye.
Steve Frick.
Yes.
Brian Brandt.
Aye.
Tim Whalen.
Yes.
Ronnie Bush. Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Todd McKenna.
Aye.
14A, 1 nay, motion carries.
Okay, back to the original motion. Is there others that would like to ask questions? I know Mr. Jogers, there you go.
I just wanted to make a couple comments. I appreciate both the presentations by both companies. I think they did a nice job. As a process engineer, I'm very impressed with the way you walked through the process. I don't know all the stuff about the billing. I don't know very much about it, but as an engineer, I love the fact that you got that process down. It sounds very solid. The presentation you had in here, just very quickly going through where we are falling short currently. I think this is a win-win for everybody here, so I'm going to vote for Matrix. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Okay, ladies, thank you. Madam Clerk, please take roll on the original amendment to approve.
Nicole Baker.
Aye.
Steve Frick.
Yes.
Brian Brandt.
Aye.
Tim Whalen.
Yes.
Ronnie Bush.
No.
Samuel Newton. No. Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Todd McKenna.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens.
Aye.
Lynette Williams.
Aye.
Adam Mottero.
No.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Helms.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. 12A, 3 nay, motion carries.
All right, Mr. Whalen, any other information out of your committee?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll move on to public property and safety. Mr. Bush, no action items. Any information, sir?
Yes, the sheriff department went out for bids for the ADA update. They did apply for 3 areas of the courthouse, which was the front door, the second floor bathroom, and the basement bathroom. However, we just got approved for the basement, so they went out for bids on that. Hopefully next year that you apply for the first front door and the second floor again. Next information, everyone should receive the email from Scott Thompson. He's asking for each board member to go on and fill out the survey from NIMS, which is NIMS. It's not mandatory, but he would like to see everyone fill this out. It's more or less for emergency management, for us to be able to go out for grants and stuff like that. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bush. Move on to administration. Mr. Jogers, no action items. Any information?
Just a couple quick things. I think all 5 department heads are doing a really good job and always have a good meeting there. One of the things in the treasurer's report I just want to mention was the senior citizens real estate tax deferral program. You can find out more about this on the county website, on the treasurer's collector page under forms and publications, or you can stop in and talk to them or call 815-235-8264. Personally, I would suggest that talking to a financial advisor about this program before signing up, but that might be something a senior citizen might be interested in. And then one of the other items from the IT manager report, among the many other things, Nate is working on the new internet for the county government. This is a private network for county employees to use as a central hub for information and resources. He is asking the department leaders for their needs, as well as researching many other internet examples from various industries to implement best practices. He is hoping to have a rough draft built for reviewing in the next couple of weeks. And like I said, I think all of them are doing a great job at that report to us. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Jogers. Move on to court services. Mr. Diddens, you have 2 action items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first one is we're looking for approval to change the date of the February meeting from February 12th to February 11th at 5:30 due to the courthouse being closed that day. So I would make a motion to make that change.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll make
Second by Mr. McKenna. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Your second item?
The second item is we're looking for approval to make a payment of $40,000 for some software for the Quicket Solutions. I believe this is when the officers would write a ticket in the squad card, immediately goes into the system and just streamlines the whole process. So I think the money's there, so we just need approval to pay it, $40,000. So I'd make a motion to pay it.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Didden, seconded by Mr. Bush. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other information out of your committee?
I'd just like to make one comment. During our meeting, Mr. Larson, State's Attorney Larson, just kind of went over how the process is working at the courthouse. The judge, Mr. Larson's department, probation, and Mr. Lutz's department, public defender, are all working well together, and the system is working well and streamlined and efficient. So that's great news. So keep up the good work, Mr. Larson. And that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Diddens. Move on to nursing. Mrs. Baker, no action items. Any information out of your committee?
The HVAC work on the north end of the building continues. They had to order a special part, so we're waiting for that, and then it will be completed. We are currently in our window for our annual survey. The staff is prepared and ready for them to walk in anytime. As of today, census is 48, but we do have a new admission, so we'll be at 49 tomorrow. And then lastly, I would like to congratulate and welcome Mr. Perez.
All right, thank you very much. We will move on to Mr. Frick in Planning and Development. You have two action items.
Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a resolution to approve the transfer of property known as 431 and 437 South Adams to the city of Freeport, and I would move that we transfer that property.
Second by Mr. Jogurst. Any discussion on this, Mr. Bush?
Which property is that?
Mr. Bush, can you push your microphone button, please? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe pull it up a little closer.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Where about is this property at on Adams Street?
It's right, it's that property that was a brownfield site where they were going to have the hoop building for gardens right there by the Adams Fire Station. Not the fire station, another block, isn't it?
It's a block west of there.
Block west, I'm sorry.
Right, right. I knew once before there was discussion. Could I have Andrea come up?
Sure.
This property here been in a long, long discussion, and I knew once before we had this discussion, was waiting on Adams Street to get done.
Yep.
There was some type of plan that was being developed for that area. Where is that at now?
So we tentatively put together a conceptual plan that it would take these two parcels along with, I think in that block, there are some city-owned parcels as well. There would be a vacating of a portion of Winneshiek, and then connection with that little triangle piece that is a park as well, to kind of aggregate that into a larger, I think it was still under 10 acres, a larger development that could be put out for RFP. Now, key being that there are still two privately owned pieces of land there, so this would be something that could happen in the future if those were ever sold. I think having the city owns the majority of that block already, having this land be deeded over to the city, it's controlled by one unit of government who then the partnership could work with them when the time is right to go out for RFP for a development. And what we were conceptualizing there was a mixed-use development where there would be ground floor commercial, second story would be apartments, and then maybe along, and forgive me without a map, not Winishek, but one of the, thank you, along Liberty would maybe be an
Winslow.
attached townhome development.
It was Winslow.
Winslow, sorry, okay. Yeah, so something that would be complementary to the neighborhood, but would also be a resource to the neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Bush?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley?
Yes. We've been trying to get rid of this property for a long time. I think, you know, Chairman, while I was chairman, it's been a nightmare, so unhappy. So we're going to be out of all the property because I see just one yellow thing around, but this is all the county property over here.
Correct, both parcels.
Both parcels, because when we took that parcel, the Park District came along and said, hey, we're going to quick deed the property over to the county since you guys own that. So it's just been a nightmare. I'm happy we're getting rid of it. I do have a question. This happened on Chairman Bloom's watch. It finished up on my watch. There was a decision that we had $20,000 left over, and Fairgraham went out and bought a brand-new hoop house. And we were going to, since the east side was, that side of town was a food desert, we were going to have that hoop house brought up. Well, that all fell through. Does anybody know where that is at? It's brand new.
No clue. We've asked. Nobody seems to know anything about it any longer.
Well, that was $20,000 of federal. Somebody should report it to the sheriff's department or something, you know.
I believe it was purchased in 2017, so nearly 8 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I know it was out at the highway department last. Somebody should probably look into that, you know.
Sure.
I mean,
we'll talk to the engineer and see if he knows.
because the last time I looked at it, I seen it in one of the garages, you know, so.
We'll check into that.
You know, so please do
Anything
and
else?
let us know,
Sorry.
because that's a lot of money, and, you know, we could give it to a nonprofit organization, because the school district did reach out one time and was interested, if we were going to use that hoop house, that they were interested in putting it up over by the junior high school and do a garden in that, you know. So I sure like to hear an answer on that sometime.
Mr. Hadley, do you recall while being chairman if it was ever erected or if it was?
No, it was it was taken down to, the
Freeport Area Church Cooperative.
Yes, that was run by
Dean Wright.
Dean Wright, and then we went and when we couldn't do anything to get an agreement, we went down and retrieved it from them.
Okay.
Because it was down there, and then we retrieved it. I know we retrieved it, and then we put it in the garage. And it was
One at a time, please. Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, that'd be
If not,
it.
we'll have Dale look into that. Mr. Bush, your button's pushed
I was
next.
just gonna say it was FACC, but not Dean Wright.
All right. Any other discussion on this? Okay, seeing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Frick, I erroneously said you had 2 action items.
That's okay. I thought you were
2
looking
lines,
at.
2 items. Any information out of your
I
committee you'd
just
like
wanted to
report on?
piggyback a little bit on what Nicole and Andrea said as far as Adkins Energy at Lena and their expansion into producing green methanol. They're the first ethanol plant in the nation to go this way in this process. Green methanol is a new type of aviation and maritime fuel that uses the CO2 out of the ethanol process, and it's a great experiment, and it has a lot to do with what we have in CO2 expansion in that process and being able to use it. So it's a great thing going on out in Lena. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all.
Thank you. Move on to Public Works. Mr. Brandt, no action items, any information?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a brief comment. I will be brief because my colleague here is already packing his bags, so I don't. Back in December, Animal Control received some very generous donations, and I just wanted to publicly acknowledge these fine folks for their generosity. From the Betty Schaefer Foundation, we received a donation for $500. Very nice, thank you. And Fairway Ford, food on my sheet is Ford, organized a supplies drive resulting in a full truckload of donations. Lena Brewing Company, 200 pounds of food, 50 pounds of treats, and some various dog accessories, including a dog bed and leashes. From Brinkmeyer's Plumbing, we received a contribution of $300, which was a gift card to Farm and Fleet. And there were many individuals and smaller contributions that our animal control administrator was able to put into a fundraiser basket, and that generated $600. We just want to thank everyone for their support. So that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. Thank you very much. Before we go to public comment, I did skip over the chairman's report. I am going to give my time to the county administrator, who would like to acknowledge a county employee who has recently passed away.
Thank you all for giving me a few moments to reflect on the first mentor I had as a 22-year-old straight out of college coming to work for the county. Marjorie Mapes, better known as Marge, passed away on January 7th, 2025, while spending the winter in Arizona, which she loved. Marge was employed by the Stephenson County as an adult probation officer from 1996 until her retirement in 2010. She was driven to help others. She went above and beyond to do so, not only in her role as a probation officer, but additionally, she contributed her time in the community as an advocate and volunteer to the GED program in Stephenson County, served as a longtime board member on the Sojourn House Board, was also a longtime board member of Choices, and served as the president of the Domestic Violence Board of Joe Davis County. She would always find a way to put a positive spin on any situation and was the type of person that knew how to push you to strive to be your very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia. All right, with that, we'll move on to public comment. Is there anyone that would like to speak? If so, please come up to the podium, state your name. You'll have 3 minutes.
As you can all imagine, I am a bit disappointed in the decision for the billing company. You're obviously ignoring your own evaluation a couple years ago when you said the county doesn't have the management experience to do it. And now you have, as far as I can tell, you've eliminated a management company and not replaced it with anything because you're going to be getting billing. And so I am very curious to hear the long-term plan for how that's going to be handled. The other thing is you have now hired a company that has no experience with public nursing homes. And unless Mr. Filippo has lied to me, there is different billing for public nursing homes, which we have. And it's to our advantage. It is actually better we get more financing. So I'm hoping that someone also will check into that, because I don't know that these people are even aware of that. The third thing is when Mr. Fort, I don't, how many know you, Darnell Fortney, but he was he was here for 7 years. He was a tremendous nursing home administrator. He actually sued the county for racial harassment, racial discrimination. He won $365,000 settlement in a federal court, which means it was legit. This board at that time, in the early teens, was horrible because you let it happen. Not the people sitting here, but this board at that time let it happen. He was here for 7 years. The nursing home was really doing well. When he left, the census was 133. That was in 2015. That's 9 years ago. We're now in the 40s. Well, I know that we can improve from the 40s. However, until this board makes the statement that this facility is not for sale, that this board supports this facility, that we put the whole county board behind it, this census will not improve. I'm sure the rumor is still out there that this, that is for sale, and it's not. It hasn't been for sale for a very long time. We've been misled by the administration, but that's the fact. So please get that out there. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, there is no new business. Mr. Bush? Is there a second to adjourn? By Mrs. Hayes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good evening, everybody.